Hello everybody! Welcome to Zelda Speedruns! We've got Game 2 of the winner bracket quarterfinals of the Wind Waker Randomizer Season 4. It's Gobbity versus Woofer again. This is gonna be a really good one. We'll swap over and I'll pass it over to our comms, Jay Wist and Zelly Versal, and I'll let them take it away while we have about another minute left.
Oh yeah, so Woofer and Gobbity.
This is gonna
First race is really close for a really long time, so expecting another good one here.
I was about to say that this is gonna be a very good race. Looks like the predictions are fairly 50-50. I could see this going either way.
Well, yeah, it's really always just a 50-50. You either win or you don't.
You have a point. You have a point. So this is Gob's third race in the tournament to Woofer's second race. So we'll see if...
Yeah, Woofer had a first round bye thanks to being seated in the top 8.
Mm-hmm. So will we see if that extra race for practice brings Gobby a little bit of extra luck or not?
I think Gobbity might have done some practicing other than just the tournament races.
Just a little bit. I think both of them did.
I actually talked to Gobbity a little bit ago, and he thought that, like, before the first race, he thought that the second race was, like, next week. So he thought he had a little bit more time to practice, but it turns out he did. It was scheduled for today.
Oh no.
He definitely crammed in some practice.
Hopefully that works in his favor.
This is 5A. It looks like they're both going to go to the sub right away, which is definitely a good decision. Otherwise, you have to sail here again later, most likely.
Looks like my video is a little synced. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, so what I actually like to do in this sub is I like to go roll off to the left side and then ledge grab and just fall down and grab the pot. And that way, normally the goblins don't see you.
Oh, that's a good
You don't have to worry about not getting a stick. Or at least you have enough time to like pick up a pot, almost guaranteed.
Interesting. It's interesting, I believe earlier today, Crane was posting in the Discord about these like statistics for how often enemies will drop their weapons based off of how you damage them. That was very interesting to look at.
It's like they just hit each other enough to the point where they drop their stick.
That's always a good way to go to in the sub. And it looks like they are pretty much holding hands through the sub.
Yeah, really neck and neck. Woofer had a slightly faster sub, but
just by a second or two. Piece of heart though. Gob choosing to save scum that, whereas Woofer decided to save. Oh no, Gob didn't even have a save. That's right.
yeah, so the fastest thing to do there is just mash A to make your file name just A, and then
double
start.
start.
Yeah.
Yep. So Gob now just a couple seconds into windfall behind Woofer.
Yeah, I think it's definitely better. It's probably better to save warp there, but it's actually close if you should or not. The biggest part of it being different is having to redo equips.
Right. That's a good point. And even then, there's still a lot of movement on Windfall that could allow Gob to close that gap a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like Gob opts for the going to the left right away. on the upper floor. And 2 single statues right away in this area.
Also well. And it looks like Woofer is going for the save orb trap, whereas Gob is choosing to go out the door.
Yeah, so they should be really close actually here.
I was about to say, I believe the timed difference is that rolling from House of Wealth is a couple seconds faster if you do it.
Yeah, when I timed
optimally.
this, I timed it to be 4 seconds slower to save warp. And they are right in sync.
I was about to say, they are now holding hands at top. So
It is worth knowing that Woofer has 5 more rupees than Gobbity. So Woofer can probably skip the rupees underneath the bed, and he'll just get the maze rupees and the pot rupees. So I would say Woofer's like slightly ahead, unless if this is rupees or if Tingle has rupees.
Note to Mom on top. Oh, right, you need extra rupees for bait, most likely. I was about to say, because usually what I do is I get the maze rupees and then the pot rupees, and that's your 20 for your 20 rupee item, but having extra rupees to buy bait could come in handy.
Well, yeah, the maze rupees is only 50, or the maze rupees is 5, unless you take the really slow route, which then you get 20, or then you get 10. But
Oh, really?
yeah, the optimal path is right, left, forward, left, right, forward, right, I think.
I don't think I've ever taken that path. I didn't notice there was a difference in the rupee count.
Yeah, because there's a blue rupee like way on the left.
Yeah. So they now have 2 pearls. I missed his Tatji and Logic. Were you able to catch that or no?
The dungeons are Forbidden Woods and both the temples.
Gross.
Yeah, so as I said, Gobbity picking up that rupee.
Mm-hmm. Where's Woofer going straight into the maze? I'll say, this is definitely a bit of a strange windfall in terms of 2 Tingle statues and 2 pearls. I don't think I've ever seen something like that before.
3
3
Tingle
Tingle statues.
They have it really ankle, it looks like.
Unless that last statue is nested away deep somewhere. And then also note to Mom. So really, none of the checks here provided anything other than opening up later checks.
Still waiting for the fabled 5 Tingle statue windfall.
Oh my god, Elijah, that'd be something.
What do you do then? Do you warp right to Tingle Island, or do you wait for the hook shot? I want to wait for the hook shot a little bit, but at the same time, it's like it's a full clear on Tingle. Depends on what your other items are.
Good point. Because Tingle Island, the best way to get there is to warp anyway, so I feel like you could still go through a couple of those lower sphere checks. Like Fairy Island, Sub, and Crescent, and things like that.
Yeah, Fairy Island sub for sure.
Before warping over to Tingle. And if that was the case.
Yeah, because I think the general consensus is that since you're already at Windfall and this is a Sphere 0 check always, like if you get Leaf, it's technically faster to do this with Leaf, but it's not extra warp faster.
Right.
So if you get Leaf, cool, you have it for the sub. If not, you're not going to put off Windfall with 6 Sphere 0 checks.
Right. And there's Furry's Pearl, which means Tatji is open. So we could see a very early Tatji.
Tachi probably doesn't have anything, considering it might have a bottle. It could have a bottle, but it wouldn't be in Logic. So
A good point. Both of them going to Mother and Child.
picking up the treasure chart. Unlucky, really. Gonna have to most likely do the Warp of Shame later. But all 3 of the dungeons do have fairies in them, so
That is true. And both of them heading to outset. They're really holding hands at the start of this run.
A lot of top gameplay just has been very similar routing based on choices that you can make.
For going for grass car, whereas Gob is checking that 20 rupee item, and he buys Hurricane Spin.
Yeah, so he's definitely not buying Hurricane Spin. Well, I guess it is faster with Jalhalla and Logic, but
I feel like it might also be one of those things where he's already there, and if he needs to get bait, or if he needs to buy bait after he gets bombs, he would have to buy.
Yep, that's the biggest
item.
reason.
Grapple hook on Furry's Pearl Mail.
Yes, we'll see if the grappling hook's required for the seed. For the seed, it'll only open up 2 checks technically, but really 3.
Up does have a point. You do need Hurricane Spin to break the barrier. Up having a little trouble finding that ledge there.
See if Gob goes back to Mesa's house, because I'm really confused on why he didn't do it first, but he could be planning to super swim off of outset once he leaves Mesa's. But that's not really fast. I think it's just more of a mental brain fart on not getting Mesa right away.
Yeah, usually I would opt to do grass car first too, but gets that roll clip in 3 tries.
Oh, that's true too. Grapple opens up somewhat some subs such as Headstone and
Crescent sub.
Moon. Yep, it's really slow on Crescent though. You don't want to use it if you have anything else.
So for the longest time, I didn't realize grapple hook could actually deal damage to the Mablins, because
the grappling hook is like one of the weirdest weapons, if you want to call it a weapon in Wind Waker. It works like very differently on different mobs.
Right.
So like it doesn't do anything to a lot of the stronger enemies, but it can kill stuff. It can also kill Goma, which is actually used in the 100% run.
Oh, interesting.
Because they don't have save flags, so if they save warp, they would just be back at outset. So it's fast to just get everything at once when you're on outset, or windfall.
Right.
Not windfall. Dreamer's Cavern.
And there's their 4th tingle statue. I missed when Woofer got that.
Yeah, Woofer hopped in right away. Because when you save warp, you'll be right on the other side of the island.
Right. But it looks like what Gob chose to do is go into Jaboon's cave and then save warp, which spawned him right in the boat, so he just took the boat over to the other side of the island, which honestly is a smart play considering how he had already routed that. But I do agree that...
very interesting by Gob. I don't necessarily agree with it, but it's definitely interesting.
Is he going for early Diamond Step?
Yeah, he's gonna do Diamond Step early, hop into the Octo Void.
It is... I mean, I guess if you consider the warp time, it could work out in his favor, but it depends on how... Ooh, does not get the jump. Yeah, so the reason I didn't realize Grapple Hook couldn't deal damage is because it doesn't do the damage animation the first time. And so, like with the other weapons, you usually see the graphical indicator that damage was dealt, and that's what made me leave. I think... Is it 4 hits with Grapple Hook? 3 or 4? I think I left at 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, it's the mini blends.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I must have gave up at 3, and I left, which... Granted, I'm not throwing out surprisingly good times in Rando, but that definitely cost me a trip. But Gob does get the wrong warp to Diamond Step on the 2nd try, and gets the Wind Waker dive fairly quickly.
So yeah, these specs for Gravity are out of logic until you have the hook shot, but anything else can be here. So the only item that can't be here is the hook shot.
Correct. And Woofer going for the paw print play. command melody at Paw Prank Scale the Wall. I believe that is required in this seed because of the temples for Wind Temple.
Yep, for Wind Temple.
It is logically required for
And the
our other
Skullhammer.
2 dungeons, but both runners are quite capable of skipping that. Skullhammer was where?
In Pop Print.
Paw Prints.
So Woofer's really hoping for either the leaf, bombs, or power bracelets here, so I can one-trip Pop Print.
But does not get them. Gob unfortunately finding rupees at the other diamond step check.
So yeah, Gob getting the vanilla ghost ship chart.
So the ghost ship chart could work out for him.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good because he'll most likely be visiting Pop Print and Crescent soon here. Also, Gob's gonna be doing a super swim here. So look away if you're photosensitive. In general, Gob's gonna be swimming most likely a lot, so anytime he pulls out that Wind Waker and is heading towards the cliff, just be on the lookout.
Or more accurately, be on the look away. Believe he is super swimming to Isle of Steel.
Yep, it's really fast to super swim in here, especially if you don't have bombs.
And there's our 5th Tingle statue on Crescent.
Oh, we have a Sphere 1 ankle.
That is something. And Gob getting
Unfortunately,
into...
Woofer is gonna have to wait for the sub. He does have the Skull Hammer, so he can just Skull Hammer the Maybelline at least, and he doesn't have to grapple it.
And Gob getting his first bow out of logic at Isle of Steel. This
That's
does
pretty
help.
good. If he gets Fire and Ice, it'll massively speed up the sub that Woofer's doing compared to the way that Woofer's doing it. And we'll catch up a lot of time.
I actually learned that strat while commenting my last race. That you can shoot the last skull with a fire arrow. And now Gob appears to be visiting Dragon Roost Island, so potentially with the way he routes this, he may not find those fire arrows before going to the Crescent sub.
Yeah, I don't know if I found this strat originally, but like when I was running Glitchless Hundo, I was really struggling with the leaf pumps because I had no idea how the leaf pumps worked in HD because I found them inconsistent because you didn't get that normal grab, but I'd always just get the low grab. Because nobody in HD really does the leaf pumps. But when I tried fire arrows, I was just like, oh, it works, I guess. I was just told that somebody else found it. I was like, oh, okay.
And Crescent sub is dead, so if Gob does manage to route it in a way that he has fire arrows, he will save a lot of time.
Yeah, Gob also being able to get all the Dragon Roost island checks here right away on his first trip.
Oh, that is true.
Thanks to having the boat.
He's able to get storage and chest storage, and you can actually just do a Wind Waker dive off the side of the island there.
It looks like you've seen ankle from Woofer. Luckily with fast climbing, it's not too much slower to just climb up. That's a journey of a climb if you did it without fast climbing.
And there's the boomerang.
That's definitely interesting, but
Is that required for... I think the only thing that's logically required for in this seed is Ganon. And even
no,
then, it's not... Oh, for Van Woods is in logic. That is true. For some reason, I thought... There's Bait Bag on Upper Cross Chest and VRI.
yeah, it's also really interesting. So Gob will be able to one-trip Headstone eventually if he decides to do so. Well, most likely. I don't know. Woofer probably won't do Diamond Step early. I don't think. Because I've been really on the side of if you have Hookshot, it's not really worth it to do Diamond Step early. because the biggest reason we did Diamond Step early in Season 3, when everybody was like doing it but on the fence of if it's worth it or not, was because we spawned at outset, and so it would save a warp later.
Gotcha.
And it was like the only check that you do over there, whereas now we also have Gulf, we have other outset checks, and we have Headstone.
And also making a good point that Boomerang is very helpful for the Headstone sub with all the rats.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't be surprised to see Gob go... If Gob goes to Tingle, I wouldn't be surprised to see him at all go right to Headstone. And then Headstone to Shark Island is good for Cyclos.
And Gob now playing Song of Passing, having that ghost ship chart, allowing the ghost ship to spawn, and he's able to go right in it. But he did accidentally open the light ring chart first. And he was able to make quick
Well,
work
he just
of that.
wanted to know like where he could fish up some extra loot, you know.
True. True. And Woofer storing the chest on top of Cliff Plateau, most likely taking that over to Bird's Peak Rock.
Yeah, so Wolfer got the wallet inside of Cliff Plateau, and so hopefully he'll just get the mail. I don't see any reason he won't get the mail because it's really obvious when you have mail.
Well, I'm a little curious. Is storage clip here faster than the grapple clip?
I think it might be slightly faster if you get first try storage. I think it also comes down to what you're comfortable with, what you remember.
There's the leaf on wallet
That's really big, yeah. The biggest reason why I think a lot of people opt for the grapple clip is because if you do the grapple clip, you just never void. You don't void, you never just don't get the ledge grab. Because sometimes you just don't get the ledge grab. It just kind of gives you the ledge grab and then just you fall. And you lose 20 seconds and you cry. You debate life decisions. Then you roll another speed and run it back.
True. And that's delivery bag inside of Bird's Peak. Which means he could mail a note to mom right here.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised if he didn't mail notes to mom. At least mail it. Right. There's always the question, especially if it's already night, do you play Song of Passing twice or do you just put it off for later? It looks like he's gonna opt to play Song of Passing twice. Looking at his tracker, he doesn't have the most optimal checks left. So if he's hoping for bombs or power bracelets most likely here, so he can just pick up Bomb Island. Fortunately, he's picking up that heart conveyor.
I'll say, now that he has played Song of Passing, that also changes where those ships will spawn at, which means I think God might have had the upper hand on that one.
Yeah, so this is interesting from Woofer. He's gonna go to the 6-eye sub, and then I think that if I was in Woofer's spot right here, I'd probably do the checks on Dragonroost Island and then go to FCP sub. Just because you have Leaf, you have Leaf and Boomerang, so you can do the DRI checks optimally. The only reason I'd put this off is because it could be linked with Cabana later.
Oh, good point. Now we see some leaf pump action from Woofer to skip the sub.
Only getting 6 leaf pumps, not quite enough. You can get it with 6 leaf pumps if your 6 leaf pumps are either really good or not so good. With like 6 if you get 6 like mediocre, or you get like 1 or 2 not so good leaf pumps, then, or even like good but not really good leaf pumps, then it probably won't ledge grab.
Yep. And after that failed ledge grab, Woofer now choosing to just do the combat. Which I honestly believe probably is a better play if you can get the combat down very quickly.
Yeah, it really depends on what you're comfortable with at that point, because second try leaf pumping is definitely faster. But if I know that Woofer's been like failing random leaf pumps for stuff, so it might just be a mental thing that he doesn't want to lose extra time, then
Right.
have to do the combat anyways.
Right? And we did see EGL there, which is logically required, but again, both of our runners are very capable of skipping that. The leaf was on Wallet Mill, I believe.
And while it was inside Cliff Plateau, which I wouldn't be surprised to see Gobity go to pretty soon here, as I believe he gets a Skull Hammer in this next check.
And there it is. And Woofer now doing Great Fish. And there's the hook shot.
Yeah, so now, actually you can just full clear Wind Temple, but that's kind of gross without a sword or a bow. That's actually really gross.
And I believe
I
there's also
wouldn't recommend it at all. Doing the big key room without ice arrows or a sword and just having to do it with the skull hammer, well, not the most fun experience. I think your better option would be actually just to try to save scum a different chest and use storage to hookshot back there.
a good point, yeah. Because that's the one with the 3 dark nuts.
Yep.
And it looks like Gob going for Cyclos. And I also believe now that Woofer has hookshot, he's now capable of doing early Cabana. He does have his hammer and grapple hook. And Woofer's about to get that bow.
Yeah, so this is actually a really interesting bow. It'd be really insane if we got bombs behind bow, because that would tell us that there has to be a different bow that's not bomb locked.
There's our first sword on Cyclos by Gob.
Yes, that's huge for Gob, actually. I'm guessing Gob will maybe go to Headstone and get the overworld checks. No, he doesn't have a pair, actually, now that I think about it. He's definitely going to Forest Haven. Oh, or just, yeah. Tingle Hall works.
Going to get the boomerang.
Yes, it looks like Woofer is heading over to Shark as well, going to pick up the sword.
No, Woofer's going... Oh, yep, sorry. I forgot there's Cyclos at Shark Island. Sometimes the way I route this is I do Cyclos and then I head to the Headstone sub. And for some reason I thought he was heading in that direction.
Yeah, in general, just like being able to route stuff so that you warp less is good, because if you have to warp a lot of times, like if you warp 5 more times, it's almost 2 minutes.
So Gob now heading to Forest Haven. See where he goes from here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Woofer go right to Forbidden Woods.
Gob going to get...
He can full clear it. It's slightly faster, or yeah, it's slightly faster if you have bombs, because you can do a different. Oh, Gob's doing this without Leaf. That's not good for Gob. He's gonna have to. Well, I mean, I guess it's not the worst thing, because he is gonna have to go back to Forbidden Woods eventually. So.
For now getting chest on Boulder.
Yeah, Gob would probably lose around 30 seconds versus what Woofer does here with this routing.
I was about to say, I'm a little surprised that he's choosing to do this. Especially because if this isn't required, he may be hoping for Vanilla Leaf.
Yeah, no, he's hoping for exactly Leaf, nothing else. If it's anything else, then it's like, it could be good, but it's better to just get it later.
Yep. But because Forbidden Woods is required for this dungeon, and both runners can do the skip to the entrance, it's actually better, assuming neither of these are required to get into Forbidden Woods and do all your Forbidden Woods checks, to wait until after the dungeon, because you spawn on this in that area after the dungeon. And
I don't know if Gob missed ball skip or he just stopped holding the analog once he saw the orange rupee, but
I'm going to guess.
He doesn't miss ball skip.
I was about to say, I'm going to guess he just stopped holding it and decided, as soon as he saw it was an orange rupee, just decided to leave.
Yeah, we definitely have hints, but it's definitely not like OTR. As Elijah said, when we randomizer doesn't have hints.
And both fortunately and a little unfortunate because of that routing, Gob is now going to go get that wallet, which is going to lead to his leaf. So, while it is good to get the leaf, it's a little unfortunate because of the way he chose a route going onto that platform. I'm hoping for vanilla leaf. Oop, sorry about that.
It's just definitely a gamble that ended up not paying off.
It looks like Gob is going to opt to do the grapple clip, not getting storage here.
Yeah, another thing with the grapple clip is that you just know like right away what that item is, because I know that Gob doesn't actually pause to check what items he got. He'll just realize it next time that he switches his equips.
Yeah, that's a good point. There have been many a times I've stored my go mode item and have not realized it.
Yeah, that's the only time that I'll really check for equips is like if I am looking for one item in a dungeon.
And there's the leaf Gob's been looking for. And Woofer now doing horseshoe golf. And Gob.
Oh, golf trip. He's skipping the second hole. I know some people would not be happy about that, but it is fast.
And opting to do the third hole vanilla. And gets it fairly quickly. So I believe we saw both clips into Bird's Peak. We saw Woofer do the storage clip and Gob did the grapple clip. And we will likely also see Gob mailing out Note to Mom here. No. I wonder
Note
if...
Mom.
Does he remember he has it? Or is
Oh yeah, he was on Tingle, wasn't it? I think it was. So he should have it tracked. He just might mail it later when he's closer to a mailbox. Yeah, he's just gonna go right into Forbidden Woods.
Can't say can argue with the Forbidden Woods play. I'm just still surprised he's not spelling out the letter.
The only kind of unfortunate thing about this, well, he's gonna mail the letter when he gets Orca Mail, so it's actually slightly faster.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's like maybe a second or two, but yeah, every second counts.
That's true, especially when you're going up against someone like Woofer.
He's just hoping that it doesn't have hookshot. I don't remember. It had a heart container, so.
Yep.
I don't exactly remember where hook shot is, but
Hookshot was great fish.
oh yeah. Yeah, he probably won't do great fish until he gets fire and ice and he can link it with Needle Rock. Since he's already done Isle of Steel.
And Woofer now doing Diamond Step, which means he will find that ghost ship chart.
Yeah, so Woofer, he doesn't have bombs, unfortunately, so he can't do the bomb clip. But he can do a faster version than what Gob did, where Gob just did early with the sticks.
And Woofer taking a second to make sure he opens up the ghost ship chart.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised actually to see Woofer, if it's second night right now, I think it might be actually, because he played Song of Passing. It might be third night though. It should be.
Oh,
No, it's second night. Yep, it's here.
Yep, it's here. So that did work out pretty well for Wolf. So both of them got very good ghost ship placements. And Woofer once again attempting to skip the ship using leaf pumps. And gets it.
Yeah, luckily the ghost ship is unlike unlike submarines. It actually has decently normal collision.
But unfortunately, no payout at the end.
The only thing that I'm shocked about with it having normal collision is the fact that it says that the submarines are not a direct copy and reskinned. They're actually manually made differently.
Oh, good point.
Like, of all the things that Nintendo did with this game, that's wild that was decided that they had to reskin that.
And Woofer now preparing to enter Forbidden Woods as well. So I believe with their routing, the only major thing Gobbity is missing is that hookshot.
Yeah, and hookshot will speed up one check here, but it isn't big. It would be big if somebody came in here with bombs and could do easier bomb push storage.
Good point.
Because they're probably not going to do grapple skip unless they come back.
And Woofer also getting that spoils bag. The hookshot is on Great Fish Isle. So it looks like Maze Room was dead, unfortunately.
So I'm assuming we'll see Gob store the
North pitch chest.
Yep. Gonna kill the choose, not a bad decision.
They can be very rude during this trick.
I just opted to never get storage in this room, and that's why I need to do door storage. I'll actually go to, if I don't have bombs, I'll just do open chest storage in the maze room.
Oh, good point. It looks like
God, forgetting that he wants to do the small key skip route, or he wanted to do the other skip, but realized that he needs to open the pot.
Mm-hmm. Did I just... Oh, nope, he does have boomerang, so small key could still be in the basement, logically.
He could also just have it stored.
I was about to say, that's what I was thinking for a moment, was that he stored the small key.
Yeah, so I think he will actually be doing grapple skip here. His grapple skip is really fast. Especially if you're able to catch the first cycle. If you just run across this room, go up, and then you can catch the first cycle that you could possibly make on the tree branch things.
It looks like Woofer is making sure to open up the warp pot before going into Earth Pit and Maze Room. There's the big key, which our runners could skip fairly easily with bomb push storage. Oh,
Oh,
double
magic.
magic in Morth Pit. And Gob is likely just about to notice he got that when the HUD appears.
I
And
didn't
makes
see anything else that he got? Because he stored 2 other items, but I didn't check for small key. Nope.
good point. He hasn't stored any small keys. There's a compass. He could have stored dungeon map. And he's actually checking. So he didn't store any bait and did not store any delivery bag items. Oh, he did store mirror shield though.
Oh, I see, yep.
So that must have been hole in tree, I'm guessing, or the chest.
Wait,
and
did
tree.
Woofer store it as well?
Yeah, Woofer also has it, so it must have been one
Did
of the
Woofer
first
void?
two.
I see.
If I'm trying to think, if it's that first chest they store, he could have avoided in that room with the pit there, with the platform that you have to leaf over.
Yeah.
Yep, Artemis is confirming that. So
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I could see going for the void there is wanting bombs for bomb push.
true. I think I've always done it out of habit, just to be safe.
So Gabby's gonna pick up the double morph or the double mothalorum first, hoping that he can skip the big key chest.
And he does have the big key, so he could choose to kill Calidamus first while he's down here.
No, I think that Gobbity takes the route of opening the warp pot or just going back to the hub room. That works as
Doing
well.
neither. Doing neither of those.
This is actually probably better, even though it's slower to get to the boss room later.
Mhm.
It saves like 3 loading zones.
Right. I'm a little surprised that you didn't open up the warp pot either, but
Well, if he opened up the warp pot and then took it back to the hub room, he would also go to the first room before going back to the hub room.
I'm guessing it must be slower than running back.
Yeah.
But I just realized, I think the reason I've always made it a habit to void after that first chest stored is because my rolling isn't super optimal, so I usually save warp out of maze room.
Here's the check that Woofer is gonna be a little bit faster than Gobat by hookshine through instead of having to go around and use the boomerang. It's the
Telescope.
telescope. That's so unfortunate because I know that a lot of runners hate getting the telescope, myself included.
But Cup in the chat is going to be very excited.
Oh, Gobbity almost getting pushed off.
But luckily hangs on.
Yeah, the reason why a lot of people don't like it is because it throws the spot that you by default are hovering over after a save warp to the telescope instead of hovering over
Oh.
save.
That's a good point.
So if you pay attention when you save warp, like early save warps, there's a lot of times where you can just press start and then mash A instead of having to go to the other inventory screen by holding R. Like if you're just conscious about where your cursor is, a lot of times you'll save a couple seconds just by mashing A.
And both of our runners doing the leaf pumps in that room to avoid putting down the flower. I believe, Jay, you prefer the bomb clip in that room, don't you?
No, I definitely prefer the leaf pumps.
Oh.
I suck at ledge clips.
Gotcha. I've just seen you do it a few times, so thought that was a preference. And Gob also getting that telescope. And Woofer just making it to the Mafia May boss room. Because I believe Gob is now ready to go fight Kalidamos.
Woofer, you have the skull hammer. So if you have the Mothula mini boss on the ground, a skull hammer is a one-hit kill on it.
That is true. And I believe with how slow it is to use spam attacks there, it is faster to go ahead and equip it there. But Woofer may have been opting to just not change his equips. That's what I'm thinking, Cup. He had the items that he wanted ready and didn't want to mess with it any more than that. And Zelda Speedruns 2 coming in with a raid. Pokemon in Raiders.
This race is definitely still very close.
Oh, definitely.
We'll have a pretty good estimate on who's ahead after they're both done with the small island check. Because Gobbity's also going to save some time based on the fact that he checked Vanilla Leaf earlier.
True.
Well, technically it's a time loss, but he's going to save time in this segment essentially.
Yeah. And Woofer is a little bit behind in Sense of the Dungeon. He has completed a few more overworld checks. Specifically that Great Fish hookshot. So, really in terms of the number of items the amount of checks they've done and the items they've gotten from it, I would say they're both fairly even right now.
Yeah, I'm really thinking we see Woofer maybe just go into Wind Temple. It's gross, but you can full clear it. Woofer being ahead until Gob checks Great Fish. I think Gob will just check Great Fish as soon as he gets Fire and Ice. Unless if this is Fire and Ice, then he goes to if this is Fire and Ice, he's going to Ice Ring and then Angular, almost certainly. Which will actually lose him more time because no hook shot for Angular.
But unfortunately, Small Island is also dead. So both of the overworld force saving checks are dead.
Actually, now thinking of it, I wouldn't be surprised to see Angular right now. See if Gob remembers to mail his note to Mom. Because this is definitely where you'd want to at least mail it. I don't know if you want to play Song of Past and twice to send it.
And he is.
Receive it, but yeah.
Yeah. And a quiver on Orca Mail. And I believe we said note to Mom mail is...
It's a hard container. Yep.
But yeah, it looks like Gob is playing Song Passing. So it would have been faster if he had mailed that first letter first. So you could have gotten both letters at once instead of...
Time of the night that works.
But mailing that letter versus getting Orca Mail is really only costing him a couple seconds, which is still a lot in terms of a race like this, but not the end of the world. And I believe, yes, he's going to Angular.
Yep, I assume we'll also see Woofer go to Angular right after this. It's right there. You can get both checks. It's kind of out of the way otherwise. Doesn't save too much time to get after getting Ice Ring.
Gob got Quiver from Orcamail, Emily. Yes, Woofer is using the Sans model, which is why we're using Gobby's audio.
We're actually using... Oh. I just saw the voice or the icon switch. Unlucky. Oh.
Thank you, Artemis. I know I was counting you.
Every time I take steps towards that waterfall, I'm always worried that I'm just gonna step off.
Oh, I've done that quite a few times.
I did it once at the, like, earlier on in season 4, but haven't done it since.
And Gob getting the fast leaf strat here. You're
Not
able
doing the
to-
jump slash though. Disappointed a little bit.
No, I expect so much from him. But you are able to push out that block and then side hop out of the way. If you don't side hop quick enough, you actually can void right there, and that resets the entire room. And Angular dead. And you called it. Woofer is saying the Angular as well.
Yeah, so what checks has Woofer done that Gob hasn't? I think it's just...
Great fish. That's it.
It's Great Fish and Golf
Oh, and golf. That's right.
and FCP sub, I think. See, I'd say
I
Woofer...
thought I saw Gob do that, but maybe I'm filling in blanks.
I think Woofer's definitely ahead here, and Gob is gonna go for another swim.
So if you are foe sensitive, please look away from Gobbity's screen.
Where's Gob taking this?
Oh, where was EGL? Is EGL the sub that Woofer did? It's six eye sub.
Yep. Is it possible Gob's going to bomb Island sub? No, he's going to he's going to Headstone, but does he have a pair?
I don't think so. He's going to do the sub first.
Almost got the hole in one.
Haley with the raid? Pog? Come on in, Raiders.
Got able to take out this sub a bit faster than Woofer did, I think. Did Woofer already do the sub? No, he didn't. Just kidding.
I was about to say, I don't remember seeing him do it.
I am a little surprised that... Did Gob pick up a parrot, Forest Haven?
I really didn't see one. And he checked bait bag to make sure he didn't store one. I will say, I'm just a little confused as well. But that was a surprisingly fast rat sub, I will admit. Usually there's always one rat that gets the better of you.
Go for heading to Tower of the Gods. Looks like he's gonna most likely do Deed Skip into Cabana.
So it looks like Gob is just going to use the telescope to check what top of Headstone is.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting play.
I guess, I mean, Earth Temple isn't logic, isn't it?
It is, yep. So he will have to
So-
come back anyways.
Not quite getting the angle right to see what the item is.
Oh, I think that's a song. I think that's Wingod's Aria.
It looks like Gob.
By process of
Into-
elimination, he doesn't know that it's Wingod's Aria, but
Right.
if it is the Wind Waker that I saw it was, then it's Wingod's Aria.
Gob is now heading over to 5-star sub. Or is that 6i sub? I always mix up the two. 6i. Cool. I always mix up the names and the locations.
Yeah, that's the thing though, Cup, is that it's either a very useless song or a very hard required sword.
For a minute, I thought it was an arrow, which means it would have been fire and ice arrows, but I realized the icon looks a little bit different than that. Gob getting the leaf pumps though, and there's his Earth God's Lyric. Yes, Gob does not have hookshot as of yet. And he's now heading to Greatfish, which means he's about to go pick it up. Hookshot is indeed on Greatfish. Oh no, he's warping away.
To the wrong spot.
No, God, what are you doing?
Get
You're
debated.
You were already there. You debated all of us.
Looks like he's setting up a save scum for FCP sub, potentially going to pop print, a full clear pop print afterwards. We don't even know where he's going actually.
No, I think he's going Beetle.
I don't know if he knows where he's going.
So yeah, Gob is hoping to get fire and ice arrows.
What if we're picking up power bracelets in Cabana? That's really disgusting, probably.
He's buying
Does that
the
mean-
pair.
What does that mean? That means that Cabana needs most likely and Wind Temple, and it's a double dip kind of deal, or something like
I
that.
don't know what Gob's doing anymore. So he just bought a pair and baits. So he's okay. Now he's saying the height. Okay, so he wanted to buy the bait while he was thinking about it. I'm guessing, and set up the save scum once again. Oh, composite. That's Armless. Can we just? Oh my gosh. That's a good pun, I will admit. Thank you, Arvis. As long as you tried. And I'm getting the leaf pumps on flight control. This is a very flight control is a very good sub to skip. So unfortunately, those quiz robes are very tedious to fight.
Yeah, so Gob heading back to pop print, gonna be able to take out all of pop print, since he does have leaf now. Whereas Woofer is gonna have to triple dip pop print, unfortunately.
Did Wolfer get twice already? Oh, bonk.
A bonk. That's why I always like the L target and then sidewalk to roll.
Oh, Woofer unfortunately missing the throw on the magtail there.
I don't think we've seen this check yet that Gobbity's about to get.
No. Not from either runner.
It's really close to... Oh,
Oh no! Clipped back in bounds.
really close that whole time. You can be pretty low there and still make it.
We are about to see Bomb Island from Woofer. And unfortunately, Bomb Island is also dead. With a piece of heart. Alright, think Gob's got that time.
Just
Ooh.
groupie.
Wait, when did Woofer get a bottle?
Popper and sub. Vanilla, I believe. Or not Popper and sub. Bomb Island.
Bomb Island sub.
Vanilla bottle.
And he is doing the mother and child work.
So we almost certainly will see your grandma being saved here, as well as going to Big Pig, and wouldn't be surprised to see him go right from there into Earth Temple.
Yeah, I could see that being his route right here too. Honestly, a pretty good way to route it.
The only other overworld check that he has left is Paw Print, which we know is a silver rupee.
Oh, Woofer buying bait here.
We're actually lucky enough to be able to skip having to buy the hurricane spin.
And chooses not to do it.
Even though it's definitely faster for Jalhalla,
Oh.
especially if you don't have bombs.
Thank God, God finally got his hook shot.
We'll see
And-
another super swim from Gob. To
So
where
if
I
you're-
have no clue.
If you are foe sensitive, please look away from Gob's screen.
I'm guessing probably Horseshoe though.
He could be going for Neil Rock using the pair.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it looks like he's lining up for Neo Rock.
Yep.
Then he'll probably go from there to Headstone. So this is definitely a risk, so it's really slow to check this alone. But he's gonna try to dupe the pair. Gets it.
And gets it. I mean, I guess I could see if you're already out here and with God being able to do the super swim that this isn't terribly out of the way compared to.
Yeah, no, if this is Fire and Ice, this will really pay off for him.
Oh,
If he's able to go into Earth Temple with Fire and Ice and potentially get lights even.
especially, yeah. Try for a shard on Grandma Mail, so Grandma is required this seed. A
There's a sword. So it's okay, but it's not good for him because it's something that he would have gotten eventually anyways.
Right.
He's
And
gonna try to get storage again. There, you got it. Gonna go for another swim to Horseshoe.
I said I can't super disagree with that, although I'm thinking too when he already did that kind of warp and warp away, so he might have been thinking like he's already done this warp enough times that playing the game of warping away at Great Fish and coming back later might not go in his favor.
Oh, and Big Pig has Fire and Ice arrows.
You'd love to see that. So
So yeah, Woofer will save time over Gob there. And I don't know, it's such a hard decision. Do you go to Headstone and just full clear Earth Temple, or do you get the overworld checks? In this situation, I think you just full clear Earth Temple. But if Earth Temple's go mode, you just lose if the other person go modes it.
that's a good question, Cup. I'm going to trying to think if I can't remember where power bracelets were.
Yeah, they're in the
Yep.
cabana, so they're...
So that sword is also currently out of logic. So yeah, we have one bomb locked bow and we have one cabana deed locked bow.
Gob heading into the Horseshoe Cave, respawning Coral at Headstone. I almost think that a save warp might be faster than going in and out there. Right, going in and out there. Because then you also don't have to backtrack to your boat, because I'm pretty sure it just puts you in the boat if you're in the middle of the island. It's really close though, probably.
And we're gonna see Neo Rock Cave from Woofer here, so we'll find out if Gob's gamble has the potential of paying off. But that bird is being a little rude.
Yeah, no, I'm assuming that I'm assuming Gob will end up rechecking this check anyways, so it's just unfortunate that he'll have to, most likely.
It looks like Gob is now also heading to Cabana.
Yep, he'll be doing deed skip to get into Cabana early, get his power bracelets,
And
then yeah, it's just go to. It almost is just go to either one of the dungeons for him.
well, he should go.
But he's gonna do Big Pig, yeah.
Yeah, he should go pick up his arrows. So Neo Rock Cave is only a piece apart, which means if Gob doesn't route going back in, he hasn't lost a lot of time doing that. But Cup does still have a point that being able to shoot that gem up top with fire arrows is still faster than using a pair.
So Wolfer going to warp to Southern Fairy Island. He's probably gonna go to Ice Ring from here. Yep. Wait, so do we almost know from process of elimination that, well, Fire and Ice could still be one of them, but we almost know that Cabana has to be, or Cabana Deed has to be in Wind Temple, almost.
I believe so. Or
If
something.
we find light soon, then we'll be able to deduct it to that.
Yeah. I was about to say, our Wind Temple has to open up a chain leading up to Cabana. But I think it's a bit more likely that we'll see Deed straight up in Temple.
Oh yeah, we're still out of logic because bombs. But they can still be in Wind Temple without the hook shot. Or what was in Isle of Steel?
First bow.
First bow.
Or well, a bow. Might not necessarily be the first, but it's the first that both of them got. Pup has a good point that we could see bombs early on in Temple. I'm trying to think, has either of the bows led to anything that led to Wind Temple? So I think logically Wind Temple is open. Cyclos did have a sword, but Needle Rock also had a sword that was only bait bag locked. And I forget where bait bag was, but I don't remember it being out of logic.
It's really what's where's Command Melody? Because Command Melody locks every check in Wind Temple as well.
Command Melody was really early on. I think they got that in one of the Sphere Zero subs. Paw prints? Yes, paw print, scale the wall. That was it.
Scotty's probably really happy to find that there actually, because he'll be able to save Grandma and then go into Big Pig to Earth Temple if he decides to do that route.
We're seeing Wolfer go Fire Mountain. Can't say I've ever enjoyed visiting Fire Mountain. For getting the parry on that first Magtail and gets on the second one as well. Is parrying the fastest way to kill those?
If you don't have bombs equipped, yeah.
Okay. I guess.
I think technically bombs might be faster if you do the bomb throw into slash because you can hit the next one faster then.
Oh, good point. Bomb Island has made me very nervous about parrying Magtails.
I was only done 4 swims. I have no clue. I don't really keep track of swims.
4 does sound right though, because there was the super swim.
So to Islet, from Greatfish to Needle, from Needle to Horseshoe, from
Angular to Headstone sub.
Angular to Headstone. Is there anything more?
Those sound like the only 4 he's done. Looks like Woofer going after that right side blueprint check, which I believe we saw from God was only rupees.
Yeah, it's a silver rupee if I remember. Yep.
And Gob going to save Grandma now. I'd still say these 2 runners are fairly neck and neck, have been for most of the race. Their routing has led them in different directions. I think
Gob does not have a fairy.
Oh no, Gob. Even
before the fairy and realized he does not have a fairy.
Even before that, I was about to say I might be saying Woofer's edging out just a little bit based off of the way he's done his routing. He's gotten items that have opened things up a little bit faster for him.
Oh no, Woofer. I think Woofer's way ahead actually. He's done all the fire and ice checks.
Yeah. Well,
that's the only difference really, is that he's done Big Pig, Fire and Ice.
True. Yeah. He's done a lot more checks. He hasn't gotten a whole lot of it that Bob isn't about to get, but having still done the checks and knowing for sure is still, I'd say, putting him ahead right now. And now we're gonna find out for sure what this item is. That is Wind God Zarya.
My eyes didn't deceive me today.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if you're looking at the restream or not, but they actually have a counter for Gob super swims.
I did not see that on the restream.
Oh, that's great, Artemis. Keep up the good work. And we're seeing Woofer do that rat sub now. That is one thing Gob has already done. So he can go straight into the temple. And if Gob goes with his gut saying...
Oh no, did the worst thing that can happen in this sub happen? Oh.
There's a
rat gets stuck in the treasure room and he just never comes out. It's really rare. Oh no, he's on the left side. Okay. Because there's a possibility that it just gets stuck in the treasure room. You just have to save warp. That's when you really cry.
He's looking. He's praying.
Yeah, he was definitely here. We definitely saw the rat. Yep, he's right there. Right by that fire. Yep. Almost sniped him.
Oh, he's taking out his bow.
There we got him.
Oh, close. A lot
Yeah,
of close
I've actually
shots.
been debating on with what Gob's doing. I actually really agree with it that it might be faster to do the side hops. Or no, actually, you never do the side hops.
No, I think
But instead of turning it day to night, doing a different strat to get the big pig across. Because you could also you can attack the pig, and then it gets mad at you, but it follows you.
Right.
So, also Gab's fifth swim is coming up here.
And that means if you are force sensitive, you should look away from Gob's screen. But Gob now finally getting those fire and ice arrows. And Woofer heading into Earth Temple. And I believe Gobby will be en route. So I was saying before.
Gabby's going to Needle Rock. That's
Needle Rock.
Needle Rock to do the fire and ice check.
Oh, that's unfortunate. But if Gob believes he saw a song on top of Headstone, he could skip that. I believe you can skip all of these songstones in Wind Temple. So we'll see if he goes for that or not. Like Wolford just opened up the inter-dungeon warp pot and is now leaving. Which honestly isn't a bad call considering we know Earth Temple is out of logic because we haven't gotten the Cabana Deed. So he may be hoping to come back after he has light arrows. But being in this area already and opening up that pot means that he can warp from Wind Temple.
Yeah, I think Wolfer's been a huge on the side of going to Wind Temple instead of Earth Temple.
And Wind Temple he goes.
I actually almost think that if you go to Earth Temple first and want to open the pot, or did he open the first room at least?
No. Just open up the pot and left.
Yeah, I think it would probably be better just to at least open up the first room with the two switches, because you're gonna have to do it eventually. But
Right.
since you're up there already.
I totally understand the point you're making there. And I do believe you're right about that. But also, I could see if Woofer is just more comfortable just opening up the chest and making sure he doesn't go too far in. Point Elijah.
Yeah, it's either that though, or on the other side of it, if you save warp after doing it, you don't have to leaf back to Medley.
Right. So, I think it probably comes down just like we've been saying, a lot of it just what the runner's most comfortable doing. So ultimately that's going to be what's fastest for them. So we're seeing Gob do all of his fire and ice arrow checks now. So I think, like you said, I think we're seeing Woofer pull away a little bit here. But we're still only halfway through this run at most, which means that Gob does still have a chance to catch up.
I think the biggest thing that Gob could do to catch up is simply if Wind Temple's go mode, and he chooses Earth Temple first, because that chest being a small key is actually really scary if you go here first, because you know that it's a really fast go mode then.
Right. I was about to say, I think both of these runners have solid end games. So once they're go mode, I think We're gonna see some really good gameplay from both of them. I don't think that's gonna make the difference for either of them.
Yeah, he doesn't need bombs to skip medley, but it just makes getting storage easier.
I almost thought Woofer was about to go through that door instead of playing Command Melody.
Yeah, no, it's just faster to walk up to the door there because Makar flies faster than he does when you're controlling him.
Right.
And God, missing the leaf pump there.
Unfortunate.
Hit
And
by the really weird collision of the ice.
unfortunately, I believe Ice Ring inside is dead. I think it was a piece of heart.
Yeah, so what you actually want to do here is just skip it because it doesn't have anything.
Unfortunately, God doesn't know that. But if he kind of skipped Ice Ring altogether, which, I mean, I can't argue with his decision to come here, because when you don't know, you know, these could be your light arrows for all he knows.
Oh no, yeah, you never actually just skip it.
All right, I just mean, like, he could put it off, you know? But especially given the two dungeons.
There'd be a lot to like come back to later. For one check.
I mean, Ice Ring altogether, not just the inside check. But both of these dungeons that he has left both benefit.
Okay,
fair
it looks
amount
like
from
I'm
having-
gonna head over to Wind Temple as well, so the ET Wind Temple thing of them going to different places will not happen.
Unless Gob also just opens up the Warp Pond leaves, but I don't think he would.
Yeah, so now I'm pretty sure they've both full cleared Overworld.
If not, they've done a huge, huge chunk of it. I can't think of anything they haven't done.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they've just both full cleared Overworld, except for Gob not getting on top of Headstone, but he knows what it is.
Right?
I'm gonna just opt to skip it most likely. Unless if he saw it as a sword, that could be really dangerous. Well, the good old OBS crash.
As that's happened to me a few times. So hopefully you can hear us again. For getting another small key.
Oh, this is interesting.
Of getting chest storage here.
This is really interesting. I don't know.
That's
Did he
it.
check it beforehand, actually?
I didn't see him do it. But I
So
was
he might
watching-
just be bringing this to the big key room because he knows he has to skip it. He doesn't have bombs, so he can't store the chest in left alcove. So he's just gonna open up the warp pod, put back there, void, get a small key, fight the dark nuts. In sync command melody.
Yeah. I mean, there's no other place he could take it and void. Unless, is there technically a way to void in the hub room?
Yeah, you can void in any room if you have chest storage. And hub room you can void by clipping out of bounds with the hook shot or with any door frame.
Okay.
But yeah, any door frame in this dungeon, if you have chest storage, you can just ESS walk into it.
Gotcha. So did you happen to see what left alcove chest was? Because I believe I saw Cyclone's room was a small key. But I didn't see what left alcove was.
I have no clue, but judging by Woofer's tracker, it's not anything important.
There's bombs in 7 Armos rooms, so that just put our first bow into logic. So I believe Cup was one of the first people I saw to call bombs in wind temples, so... Or at least to say it. Do you take credit cards, Cup?
And light
Hey,
arrows.
there's our light arrows in... Is that middle of hub room?
That's middle of hub room.
So... That actually really worked out for Woofer then, because... Or for both of them, because if Gob had decided to do her temple first, he wouldn't have had light arrows to do to fight Jahala. But Woofer has the upper hand of just being able to take the warp pot back to her temple, whereas Gob will have to sail over.
So now we're just looking for 2 more shards and 2 more swords.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully Gob is counting 2 more swords as well. Oh, there's another shard. So, 1 more shard. That was break all platforms in Spike Room.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So Gob had chest storage, so he actually had to get caught by the floor master there, unless he wanted to do a gross bomb. Well, he couldn't do a bomb boost. He could have tried to leaf blow and then backflip onto it, but I don't even know if that works with chest storage.
And Kofo with the raid as well. Welcome on in, raiders.
Oh.
For having a very nice mini boss room with those light arrows.
And Gob gonna be picking up his sword here.
You mean...
Yeah, shard.
Yeah. It'd be very interesting if Gob picked up a sword here.
That would be something else. We'd probably have to push the race back for another day.
Just a little bit. They typoed the seed in just a way that only 1 check was different.
So with the light arrows, this run becomes a little bit trivial to just kill everything, but does he know how to deal with morphs fast? Oh.
Nope.
The best way to deal with morphs, if you can, is get away from them, let them all spawn together, and then actually use the boomerang on them.
Oh no, Gob's gonna store left alcove chest, so now I still won't know what it is. Which, I mean, I can't blame him, because storing this chest does allow him to go into the big key room. It's well, Elijah.
Bomb mail has to be dead if it's not in kill all.
Yep.
Um,
It can't be an Earth Temple anywhere.
what are we talking about?
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Vanity,
I see.
because power bracelets are in
That's
Cabana.
wild.
And Woofer on his way go kill Mulgara and then can take the inter-dungeon warp pot back to Earth Temple. So I'd say we're seeing Woofer get a pretty good lead here now.
Why, Gob? Why? Gob. The point of death warping is so that you can just skip the fight. You just ESS into the wall and void out if you wanted to. Yeah, he is gonna die.
Do you have any clue what Gob's doing here?
Well, he never voided out, so he's getting the item,
Oh,
but
okay, gotcha. I didn't think about that.
yeah, it would have probably just been better to void out and then fight everything, or damage down and then hook shot through. So he now has the boss key.
He still has Pipeline left to do, as well as Mini Boss. And also those lights sitting on Pipeline. Oh, he also still has the mid-air snipe on the Mulgara tongue.
Got picking up the light arrow.
Getting those lights. And Woofer taking out Mulgara.
Wait, did Woofer just get the quick snipe?
I believe so.
That's insane. Oh no, quick snipe. Okay.
No? Okay.
Just looked like the way that Mulgara was. I wasn't really focused on it. Yeah, Woofer's ahead
Yeah,
by
no. Yeah, no.
half a wind temple.
Woofer has completed his overworld checks a lot faster than God did, getting those fire ice arrows earlier on. So both of them have full cleared overworld, and Gob has not done anything Woofer hasn't done at this point. So Woofer is very much ahead.
Woofer's gonna take the fast track here back to Earth Temple, which is taking the warp pod in between dungeons.
Gob unfortunately will not have that luxury though. Although bomb mail could still be go mode now. Because Cabana was in kill all enemies, right?
True. I mean, it's not going to be the only item because we still need 2 swords and a shard.
Right.
So I think Woofer's play here is definitely
Oh no,
the better
it's,
play.
it's definitely a play. We could be one check less away from go mode in terms of dungeon checks. Valhalla first means he can get Vital Mail too. So I believe between Vital Mail, Bomb Mail, and then potentially Master Sword Chamber. We have a few other places that our Go mode items could be.
Yeah, assuming Woofer will just do the fast route here.
Is that going in defeating Valhalla first and then going back for...
Yep, the storage strat with clearing the right side, getting storage, skipping the first song stone, getting floor master room, storing floor master, then storing third crypt, fighting Valhalla. Oh yeah, if you don't have bombs though, this route, that was mega yikes. Skill drop storage, not really my friend.
For making sure to check the right side here. Well, I know of a few runners that don't opt to check right side fairly early on. But he has found 2 keys, which does put left side into logic as well.
I think the only reason I'd ever put off right side is if I did small key skip and then just did that stuff with the right side stored.
What did Woofer say right there?
In case he misses the songstone skip.
Oh, good point. Oh, right. And so he'd want to be able to get storage again. That makes
Or
sense.
he's not gonna do the songstone skip. And bring over medley. Yeah, I never did the songstone skip if I had medley and Earth God's Lyric in season 3, but in season 4, I'm just ever since spoiler log season where it was like almost essential to do Earth God's Lyric skip most of the time. Since it's just faster, you just do it.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't be surprised to see Woofer actually bring Medley into the next room and throw her out of bounds so that she voids, but not gonna do that.
I can
It
agree.
would have been pretty slow actually, now that thinking about it. You still need a couple more items.
Yeah, like Elijah said, if Woofer could just be playing a little bit safe here right now too, and I can't argue with that. I mean, regardless of knowing he's ahead or not, these are very close runners, and so I could understand he wants to play a little bit safer.
Did God miss miss tree skip and then leaf all the way back over?
I guess. For making quick work of those floor masters. He tried to do chest storage strat, but didn't have chest storage.
Yeah, he's gonna be getting chest storage here. Because he does not have medley, so he's no way of breaking the third songstone, and it's also faster than going to the left side and opening up that part.
Yeah, Woofer currently has 2 items stored that we do not know what they are. And Gob finally entering the Mulgara fight. Oh, Wolf is getting a fair chunk of Earth Temple done.
Looks like God was 2 frames early on Bulgaria storage.
Did Wolf potentially void there? Or was that accidental?
Oh yeah, he intentionally voided so that he doesn't have to get chest storage again with chest storage. That can be annoying, especially here.
Gotcha.
But he will have those items, so we know he doesn't have a sword. I don't know if we checked, but
I don't think he's checked if it was shards.
yeah.
Armis does have a point that one of them has to be a compass.
There's really no point in checking your shards before you have the full sword.
Right.
Because you'll probably just get the shard on Jawhalla and then see if it is then.
Right. Although, if he knew... Oh, I guess that's true. I was about to say, if he knew he had it, he could stop checking, but he would still need to get his sword too. So... That's what you were saying.
Got it. Or Wolf are a little scary on that Songstone. Yeah, there's a bat.
What
I
the
always
heck is
kill the
that?
bats in this room when I'm doing it with the third crypt chest. I don't if I'm not using the third crypt chest. But if I'm using the third crypt chest, there's really just no backup. If you get hit by the keys, you lose like a lot of time.
And Wolf are opening up the warp pot and going around and doing big key skip.
Unfortunately, Woofer not buying the Hurricane Spin will not have the Hurricane Spin for Jawhalla. Really
Nice.
unlucky, rather.
That is one option God will have above Woofer, is he did buy that Hurricane Spin.
Yeah, he does have an extra sword now. Third crypt was the sword.
And we'll see if he potentially stored a shard in that mess when he collects the shard. You could still see a vanilla sword in Master Sword Chamber in go mode.
Possibility. It's a possibility. It's also really scary on with 2 letters being in the mail. Do you do the letters first? Do you like save scum in Earth Temple, do the letters, and then
Well, that's a good point.
come back?
I feel like if it were me, I would warp to Forest Haven, check the letters, and then go Hyrule. Especially in a race like this.
I think if you're gonna check the letters though, even if you're gonna check them, if it's not both of your checks, you still save scum back to Earth Temple and just get the letters again later.
Oh, interesting. Is Gob gonna go for Super Swim here?
God will be swimming back to Earth Temple, or to Earth Temple for the first time for him.
So if you are foe sensitive, look away. And that's 6 on the Gob Super Swim counter now. And Wolfer still only has 7 shards, so we did not store a shard. Which means it could be in basement, mirrors rooms, or those 2 mail checks. And we know from Gob getting one of those letters that it would have to be Vital Mail. Oh, it could also be left side. That's true.
No, the old 50-50 is Wind Temple, Earth Temple, which we had to see, but it wasn't too bad because they both had something.
It looks like Wolfer doing basement before left side.
Yeah, I think most runners opt for basement first before left side, just because it's normally a lower sphere thanks to Fire and Ice.
True. I also just feel like the time it takes to get these checks, you get more items in less time doing basement than you do on left side.
Yeah, it's 4 pretty quick checks, especially if you have Leaf. It's only the crazy seeds where you're in the Earth Temple basement without a leaf.
Right. There's our shard. So we are Master Sword away from go mode.
Yeah, so based on what's left, Woofer should have this one in the bag. In the bag. There's really not much I can go horrifically wrong.
So, Igari, only 3 of the dungeons are required, and those 3 will have shards at the end. The rest of the shards will be in chests somewhere.
Will it be this chest? Could
Let's
be.
see. Could be.
Just the map.
Ooh.
Imagine if it's Bitomail.
Could be. Could also be vanilla. Could be left side, unfortunately. Our temple mini boss would probably be the most stinky.
Going for the fast round here. If you can snipe the golds, a little bit of an issue.
Just a little bit. Not too much. There's the big key, which Woofer does not need, because he has already defeated Jahala. And Woofer gambling the mail instead of left side.
It's gonna get interesting then. I don't think it's quite enough time for Gob to catch up, but
I don't think so either.
it's more if he gambles Master Sword Chamber.
Yeah, so you could gamble Bito Mail, and in Woofer's eyes also Bomb Mail. And Master Sword Chamber. And it looks like he's gambling mail first, which I can't argue with, honestly.
Yeah, he has 2 mail checks. He could be getting kind of worried that Gob got bomb mail before entering Earth Temple, which he did, but we know that's not the item.
Right? Ooh. Hey, he's resaying, which is that a sign that he's not gambling Master Sword Chamber?
Yep, that brings him back to Earth Temple. He'll be going to the left side.
Okay. Yeah, I can't say I can argue with that, honestly. I mean, it didn't work out, but
It's a safer play.
yeah, he can get those 2 checks, and that only took him a minute at most compared to left side.
Because you also have to remember you're playing against your opponent. You're not necessarily going for like the statistically best play.
Right.
But like thinking about, as I mentioned, with bombs being in Wind Temple and him coming directly from Wind Temple here, he only needs 1 more item. So if it was in Bomb Mail, then Master Sword Chamber would be, or not Master Sword Chamber, Basement would be Gobbity's Go mode.
Right. Which, I mean, he doesn't know one way or another if God followed that same route, but it's still thing like you're saying. I think it's safe to assume that Gob wouldn't have done that dip to open up the warp pot.
Gravity option kill the keys. Hopefully he won't just open the chest. A very tragic ending of, or not ending necessarily, but it was definitely a huge decider in game 1 of the series.
I'm missing that first light arrow. And Gob getting his storage.
Sorry, not having Leaf equipped, tossing out the boomerang.
Oh, Boomerang always comes back. Maybe he was hoping it would boost him up. There's a pair.
Oh no, there's only 2 checks left.
It's
And
not
Master
looking
Chamber.
good. So I did call fairly early on mini boss and ET having go mode, or at least a required item.
Well, it's a 50-50 now. There is or there isn't.
True.
But it's unironically a 50-50. There's 2 checks left.
Mhm. Well, Gob still needs to go
And-
basement. Ooh,
Master Sword Chamber.
left sword.
Yeah, he's
dead.
going to the basement shard. So
Yep. So I don't see Gob getting that first shard and then taking off. Yeah, you can move him with the walls. SMH. SMH.
yeah, it could be possible for Gob to do basement and then Hyrule, but he's still behind a significant amount for this late in.
Hey, Gob did get a fairly nice cycle there. Yeah, even if Gob gambled, Woofer's still a few minutes ahead.
Few minutes in Hyrule for top runners it's really unrecoverable.
Yeah, that's significant. And like I
It takes a
said,
major mistake by by Woofer to lose this in any way.
yeah, and like I mentioned really early on, both of these runners have really good end games, so it clearly is coming down to who gets go mode first. And Woofer getting the double there, saving a few extra seconds.
I don't know if it's possible for Woofer to sub 2. It's close. I think that it's like best case scenario, like a 2:00 like 15 though. It's really unfortunate.
Although, Woofer had the opportunity to get Hurricane Spin and didn't do it, which means he's not going to be able to break the barrier. It's like a DQ right there. But Master Sword Chamber go mode. It's almost like we've seen that a couple times throughout the history of this tournament.
Wait, I want to make sure that that time is like actually decently right. Sick.
Ooh, Tanjo.
Yeah, 2015 actually could be really right on, I think, for a good high roll. If you want to do over under, I'd say more of an over under on like 2030 though.
Yeah. I could see it being a sub 2020. I would gamble that. Woofer could have a really solid puppet gammon.
Here's Gob's last shard. He just needs the one in Hyrule now.
That is true. He is one sword away from go mode. Jay Haley has a point. He can't get a shard in Hyrule.
Did I say shard? Oh well. With no logic.
Yeah,
no
you
logic
said he. You said he got the shard in basement. He just needs the one in Hyrule, which I knew what you meant, but
You just need to hit the wrong warp real quick. Little SRM never hurt anybody.
so Woofer's gonna be entering Puppet Ganon, and I guess that's gonna be like a 156.30. About. This room usually takes just a little bit to kill all the enemies. So that would mean we're betting on 5-minute Puppet Ganon to Ganon fight.
Not getting the double. Really disappointing. He has to double target the one. You want to get a little closer normally to get that double.
So luckily they are going into this fight with double magic, which means that Woofer would have to stop less times for magic refills if he were to miss a fair number of these snipes. Missing the first two. Bob is not gonna gamble Master Sword Chamber. Did not receive Haley's telepathic message.
Woofer is probably just having a mental breakdown after this, thinking that Gob might be in the same fight and he might just lose the run to Puppet Ganon.
Yep. Landing the first snipe. But even
the
still,
spin. Big spin.
and is going to need a magic refill.
Luckily, the keys can drop magic. When
And
it's
they
five
do.
keys, there's a good chance of it.
Luckily for Woofer, even missing these snipes, still has a significant lead over Gobbity. But that is looking a little bit better for anyone who decided to take the over on the over-under on the...
Wait, is there actually a
15.
prediction?
No.
Okay.
I wish there was.
Well, definitely you should not actually predict that with considering the fact that there's a 10-minute delay.
But Woofer wrapping up phase 1 there. Will he get the crip? The double crip, even. Getting a quick soup dupe right there. Unfortunate. No double crip. Meanwhile, Gobbity is checking out left side.
Yeah, no crit shot.
Nope. Could still make up with it, or make up for it with a truck shot.
Well, almost a sub 2 public cannon.
Oh no, Woofer! Missing the snipes on the cycle.
Killing public cannon.
And now all he has left is a Ganon fight. Which has pretty much all but secured his lead now.
Does Gob have any more overworld checks left?
I believe it's just Master Sword Chamber.
Just Bite
And Bito Mail. Will he gamble the mail or the Master Sword Chamber? And Woofer getting the Pog Slide. And souping up before entering the Ganon fight.
Yep. Standard Ganondorf fight. Nothing too much that can go wrong here.
That was a fairly decent phase one. The only
Well, yeah, it's a perfect
Slightly-
phase one, pretty much.
yeah,
You can't get much better other than you just do 3 quick spins, talk to Zelda.
right. I was a little nervous about the positioning of bouncing off the barrier there, but it looks like it worked out. And a very quick phase two. And there it is.
Super.
GG to Woofer. Okay, 2:02:37.
So we should have them in for interview soon, TM.
And Gobbity entering Hyrule Castle. Will Gobbity break the barrier with the hurricane spin?
Hello, GG's.
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 Oh, using hurricane spin to break the barrier. You love to see it.
Also, Gravity taking the series too low.
Yeah.
Equipping the Hero's Charm in the first game. Hurricane spinning the barrier in the second.
I equipped Hero's Charm in the first game. I equipped it earlier.
I see.
It's 1-1.
Well, then it's on 1. All right, Monday.
Monday.
You know, you just have those days where your brain just doesn't work, you know? Oh my god. How many times did I not buy bait?
Here's the crazy thing too is that Woofer actually skipped the hurricane spin because even though he got bait really late, he still didn't have bombs.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Yeah, I'm not gonna waste time.
Woofer, is your mental state okay after Puppet Ganon?
No, I was really tilted.
Because like I predicted like among the timings that like would be pretty standard. It's like a 2:00:30, 2:00:15. It's like I looked at the race time. It's like, oh, not quite.
So normally when I'm like on Ganondorf and I'm thinking like if I lose at least it was a close race, but this time it was like if I lost then I absolutely choked this away completely. So it was a lot scarier.
Yeah.
Oh, you pulled ahead just a little bit by getting that early hook shot and those fire and ice arrows, and it was fairly close after that. But once you got those fire ice arrows, it was you were maintaining a couple minutes ahead pretty much after that.
Did you full clear?
Everything but Mage Chest, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, Gobby hit us with a little bit of the debate early on. We thought he was going to get the hook shot because obviously we knew where the items were.
Yeah.
And then he just teleported away from Great Fish.
He warped to Great Fish and then
yeah.
just pee poofed.
Yeah, because that was
He
that
wanted
was
to
the
wait until
whole-
Fire and Ice. It made sense.
No,
but-
no.
Oh.
Because that was literally the like 5th warp in a row I forgot to buy fucking bait. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Because yeah,
I did mention it once. It's like, well, he was just for saving, so he might have gotten it there because I might just not have been paying
that was the
attention.
plan. Guess what?
Yeah.
That was the idea. I said bait at Forest Haven, and then guess what I didn't do? 3 times in a row I was at Forest Haven.
And then the going to outset without the fairy.
Oh yeah, I forgot to get the fairy. Yeah, brain not working this seed. Everything was terrible. And then Wind Temple, I forgot I couldn't die because I didn't have bombs. So that was my chest storage stuff. Because that was like the easiest chest I could get without bombs.
Have you
Bomb drop.
considered ever voiding out in that room?
No.
Do you know how to?
Okay. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna leave. I'm just gonna buy. Okay. That's. Oh
Gob's not gonna handle being bullied like this.
god. I can't
Gob-
believe I forgot to void out. Why would I forget? Okay.
Yeah, I was like, the only reason you'd ever want a death warp is so that you can skip the fight, but then you just didn't skip the fight. And I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah, Yeah, you sure can't just walk out, huh? That's crazy.
No, you can't walk. Yeah, you can walk out.
Well, I mean, walk out of the door. Not
You
open
really
the door,
can't
not that.
walk out.
You really can't walk out.
Oh, Gob had a very nice phase 1 puppet again in there. It's very clean.
Appreciate the gob swim counter.
Yes.
Yes, the guy's swim counter.
I believe we put that up around 4.
We should have.
We actually had one ready for Woofer too, but you have to do a swim for it to like get on there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so Woofer, you ready for next match? Run it back real quick?
Wait, you want to schedule our race like right after this?
No.
Right now.
Yeah, right after this, all 3 games. Let's go.
Right now. Let's do it. gonna be a long night.
Oh, so it can't L slide anymore? It just my game's patched. Sorry, spoilers, but okay.
Do not love to see that.
Yes, moving on in the bracket, Woofer will play me, and then Gobbity will play the winner of Kolfra versus Shizuka.
Ooh. That'll be another interesting match.
I think the Kolfra Shizuka game, isn't that happening right now?
Is it?
I don't think so.
Oh no.
Well, sorry guys, I gotta go, but GG's again, and
Okay.
I'll catch y'all later. See ya.
GG's. See ya.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest difference between the two routes was just having to double dip islands, stuff like that. Because he did pair on Needle Rock as well.
I don't see that match on the schedule, so I don't believe they've planned it yet.
You also got hook shot a lot earlier than Gob did.
Where was that again?
Oh, great fish.
Oh, right. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't remember it after you're done with the seed. It's a lot easier when you're like commentating and you only have to like focus on where the items
Commentating.
are, not really like actually playing the game.
Right. And we did bring it up a lot because we were waiting for Gob to go get it, and then Gob debated all of us, and finally went and got it. So, following the logic of that seed, first logical bow, now that we've seen it all play out, was Hub Room and Wind Temple.
Oh yeah, it's kind of gross.
Because then
Yeah.
bombs were also in Wind Temple, so you could claim that Io Steel was also in logic at that point, so... But those first two bows were out of logic for a long time.
Yeah, I thought that the bombs were gonna be in Wind Temple because there was... I didn't have Cabana Deed yet, so Cabana Deed had to be behind Wind Temple. And it was
Yeah,
probably gonna be there instead of somewhere in Earth Temple.
Yeah.
We had
believe-
deducted to it was either Bomb Mail or the Tall Basement Room that had the Cabana Deed.
Right?
Yeah, when
Because-
I opened that chest, I thought that I messed up, and then I realized that bomb mail could have been it, and I was like, okay.
Yeah,
Because if
it
that
was
was
a 50-50
like,
though. It was a 50-50.
yeah, maybe I should have gambled the 50-50.
Yeah, because I believe when you were in Tall Basement Room, we had already realized that you had checked everything other than Earth Temple, and Power Bracelets were in Cabana. So, we were in the know at that point, but... That was still that was a very interesting seed, the way that played out. And then also with the gamble there going to get and Mail instead of we thought you were going to gamble Master Sword Chamber for a second.
Oh, so
And then-
my reasoning there was the big key was in the big key chest, which was only locked behind keys and not fire arrows. We saw nothing behind fire and ice arrows up to that point, so I thought the last sword would be not behind fire and ice arrows. And it wasn't, because it was in Master Sword Chamber.
Yeah, it's really like question. It's just like you really never know. You really never know.
Yeah.
Wait, did this seed break Koala's theory? Was
It might
anything
have, yeah.
was anything hard required behind fire and ice arrows?
I've been beating the game.
Because those two bows were out of logic
Well,
up until you guys got to Earth Temple.
do you really need fire and ice arrows to beat the game, Woofer?
Okay.
With the current rules, you do though. With the current rules,
True.
you could just cheat though. Break the rules a little bit.
I mean,
Honestly, if you get key hover, you just win. Honestly. Peaceover wasn't banned in season 3, and nobody ever did it. There was one time where somebody decided to go for it and then just didn't get that arrow skip and people left.
Oh no. See, I believe he has the slight advantage of being one of the organizers, so maybe he could like make his penalty a little bit less harsh. Not quite a full DQ, but like
just half a game.
Yeah.
Gob gets it's a rematch, but Gob gets a 5-minute head start.
Right. Even better, you just add 5 minutes to whatever his time was, and then you compare. Not even a rematch.
Yeah, we can do that. I'm down.
But this.
Alright.
So up until I think it was going into Wind Temple, you guys were fairly close up until that point. It was Gob not getting those fire and ice arrows that slowed him down.
Yeah, because when you entered when you were entering Wind Temple, essentially, I think Gob was just getting his fire and ice arrows from Big Pig and essentially took the same route that you did. Except for he went to Headstone. Remember how we talked about like not getting bait? He went to Headstone without pair, but he had the telescope, so he could look up and see that it was a song. He didn't know if it was Earth Gods or Wind Gods at the time, but we knew it was Wind Gods Aria. So he never got Wind Gods Aria.
And
I actually loved having that song because I didn't have bombs, and I wanted one of the two.
Yeah, he stored the first chest in the dungeon, which actually isn't like the worst thing, but then he fell down in the room with the left alcove, like off the spring, and so you have to either do the side hop back because you can't climb the ledge with chest storage.
Right. But he instead got grabbed by the floor master. Then too, Gob also did Neil Rock with Pear. Speaking of now having baits. Whereas, Woofer, you only went once because you went with fire and ice arrows to start with. Yeah, so I think it was that difference between how you guys routed after Forbidden Woods that you slowly started to gain and pull away with your lead. Leaving Forbidden Woods, you guys were fairly neck and neck. So. Very interesting.
I gotta watch the VODs.
Yeah,
And the
good
one
race.
from last race, too.
Little study sesh.
Alright.
I also did commentate certain things and routing decisions, so educational too.
And I asked a lot of questions.
Does anybody else have any last questions or anything?
Oh, I just want to say Headstone sub was terrible, and that rat.
Oh my gosh, that rat.
I was scared that you got the like not really a soft lock technically, but a soft lock where it gets stuck in the treasure room. Because that can
Yeah.
happen.
That was almost worse than the Magtail and Fire Mountain. I just don't understand what's up with enemies on ceilings running
see,
away from me.
If you thought that was bad, I had the same thing the other day, but I didn't have a ranged weapon and I had Hero Sword.
Oh no. Yeah, that rat almost got the better of you. You're able to take care of it eventually. But
Alright. So, I guess we'll wrap things up here. GG's to the runners. It was fun to watch. Big thank you to Jay Wist and Zelly Versal for commentating, and to Sulsus and Emily for tracking. As far as ZSR goes, just got some standard, standard like weekly races for the various randomizers going on this weekend. There is one more losers bracket round 1 of this tournament tomorrow between Linkus 7 and Tuba Man, so that should be an interesting matchup. That's at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And there's also a couple of Challenge Cup matches for the weekend. Then just more on the schedule, basically. But we're gonna go raid Zelda Speedruns 2. They're currently doing the Ocarina of Time randomizer weekly. But any other final words?
I got nothing.
All right, we'll head out, and thanks for stopping by, everybody. Take care.
Bye.